And now I'd like to turn it over to Katrina Harkness.
Hey, everybody, and welcome. And before we get started, I want to just tell you a little bit about the format. Today, we're going to have a fantastic presentation from Maureen Dorosinski. I'm so excited she's here. After the presentation, we're going to stop the recording so we have a time for question and answer. During the presentation, if you think of a question you want to ask, and go ahead, feel free to put it in the chat as we go along so you don't forget your question. And then at the end, we'll read through the chat and get those questions answered and have time for that in our question and answer. Um, so to officially get started, hello everyone and welcome. I'm Katrina Harkness, the Adult Learning Consultant here at the Florida Division of Library and Information Services. And today I'm very excited to be welcoming Maureen Dorosinski from the Florida Braille and Talking Book Library. And now I turn it over to Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you, Katrina. It is wonderful to be here and to be able to share a little bit about what we are doing here at the Florida Braille and Talking Book Library. And most importantly, how you can join us in our efforts to share all of these wonderful library services with people out there who might not be aware of us and get them signed up because it is very easy to go ahead and sign people up. But I'd like to, in this session, talk to you about a little bit about who we are, who we serve, the items that we have for loaning, the way that they can get them, and then more about the programming that we do because it is more than just great books here. So, okay, I think we are ready for the slideshow. Thank you so much. Excellent. Oh, thank you. So, all right. So my name is Maureen Dorosinski. I'm the library program specialist here at the Florida Bureau of Braille and Talking Book Library Services. I'd like to present how easy it is to apply and give us some history and background. Next slide, please. Okay, so who we are. We are a division under the Florida Department of Education, which is we are a part of the Division of Blind Services. Our campus is located in Daytona Beach, Florida, and we also have the Career Technology and Training Center on campus, and also a Bureau of Business Enterprise. So we are training people to become employed and to overall enjoy the quality of their lives. We are part of this great expanded set of services, and we have district blind services offices all over Florida, where clients can get a lot of help with training for employment and other tools. Next slide, please. So who we serve. Our library is in partnership with the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, Library of Congress. They have eligibility requirements in place for those to qualify for our service. This includes people of all ages with blindness or low vision. If you're blind in one eye or macular degeneration, a physical disability, if you had an injury, missing an arm or hand, perceptual or reading disability like dyslexia, traumatic brain injuries, stroke, Parkinson's, ALS, multiple sclerosis, spinal cord injuries, dyslexia, and the other forms of reading disabilities. This can even include severe arthritis that prevents someone from holding a book. Next slide, please. What we provide. Our catalog is huge. We have over hundreds of thousands of books, magazines, and music materials in audio and electronic Braille, e-Braille. We'll find current bestsellers, literary classics, mysteries, westerns, romance, and more. It's a wide selection included for books for school-age children and teens, and books in Spanish and other world languages. Hundreds of titles are added each month. We even add locally produced items from network libraries all over the country, Daytona Beach included. We have descriptive DVDs where the movie has the description of the scenes that are in between the dialogue, like she crosses to the other side of the room and slips the note in his bag before quietly closing the door. So none of the action gets missed in the movie. Some libraries in the network have large print books, and you can get the music materials directly from NLS. There are music lectures and appreciation books where music is discussed, and then most popular music, Braille musical scores, and large print scores. It includes more than 25,000 titles, including all the recorded instructional materials about music and musicians. It's the largest accessible collection of its kind. There is also music-related magazines. So it isn't actually music, but material about music, about how to play music, the instruments, and the tools like piano scores that you can request. And it comes directly from NLS right to their door. Next slide, please. How we deliver. This is the best. You can download all of the titles, audio and Braille, to your wireless devices. We're talking iPhone, iPad, iTouch, Android smartphones of all kinds, or tablets, and the Amazon Fire tablet. We also provide free players, which we'll show in a little bit, talking book players, and refreshable Braille displays. Now that's a handheld device with pins that go up and down, refreshing with each line of Braille. These players feature large buttons, Braille letters beside the controls, sleep timer, and built-in audio instructions. So there's a manual built right into these machines. This equipment is amazing. So to use the players, we download all of our patrons' requests to a cartridge, which is basically just a large flash drive that's made easier to hold. They get their books. You can sign up for an automatic service, which selects books for you based on your interest, or book lists that they create from the catalog. We have an OPAC catalog and a large print catalog that they can work with their choices that way and send it back in. New books added are posted online. There's a huge catalog online called Talking Book Topics. And not to be outdone, there is even a My Talking Books is an Amazon skill. It is in beta testing now. Didn't want to say the A name too loudly, just in case there's any devices out there right now. Next slide, please. So BARD, you may have heard me slip and say BARD. What is this magical system that is behind the book offerings and delivery system? It is the Braille and Audio Reading Download Service, BARD. It's a web-based service that provides access to Braille materials, including the musical scores, audiobooks, and audio magazines available from NLS. The service is available to registered NLS patrons through their local network library, and we are the regional library for Florida. The audio materials can be downloaded onto cartridges or USB flash drives that can fit inside the talking book player as well. So you can use your PC and a app called Bard Express to download materials onto the flash drives and transfer them to your player. Or we have something that they have been asking for a while, the Bard Express player. So it's another way you can play all of these options right from your computer. So there are so many ways to get access to all of these books available. Next slide, please. All right, so you've heard how wonderful it is. So how can you, as librarians and staff of our public libraries, help connect people to the service? It starts from our website. We can take a look at it later. And we have the applications up and ready to go. We offer Spanish, individual, and institutions. Now that is for schools and assisted living centers and facilities, even nursing homes. Yes, so we would go to our website and it's an easy process. Next slide, please. Yes, it is very easy. And yes, all of you can certify people for service. The first thing you're going to do is download the application itself, which is a fillable PDF. You're going to download it to your computer. And then you can sit with the patron and potential patron and fill it out. It is a lot shorter than the slides. It is a lot simpler than you would think. Next slide, please. First, you're going to make sure that they are eligible. If you are, if they are blind or with a visual impairment that makes them unable to comfortably read standard print books, if they indicate that they have a perceptual or reading disability, or if they have a physical disability that makes it hard to hold or manipulate a book or move the eyes as needed. And this is, again, they are declaring that they have a condition that makes them eligible for this service. Next slide, please. Once you've determined they're eligible, you are going to fill in their contact information. We do encourage an alternate phone number. Some people do still have a landline. There is a parental acknowledgement that needs to be signed for anyone under 18. And there is a checkbox for veterans preference, because our services, we always give preference to veterans for anything that new equipment or anything like that. We have a couple new pieces of equipment that we make sure that our veterans get preference. Next slide, please. And to certify, all you need to do is completely fill in all the fields, and then you can type your name for the signature. That's it. Your name, your library, your title, email, address, and that is it. You have certified them. Next slide, please. You'll check a box to see how they want their books delivered. They got a mobile device, or if they would like to receive them by mail. And then, of course, where they heard about it. Public library, yay. Next slide, please. And that's it. You are going to save your PDF and attach it in an email to opac_librarian@dbs.fldoe.org. Yay, success, huge round of applause. And thank you for your help, because you have successfully gotten somebody else on their way to receive all of these wonderful materials. Now, our applications are received immediately. We always have reader advisors monitoring this email. We always have reader advisors standing by ready on the phone lines. So we have everything you need in place, and we can always be contacted by our 1-800 number, 1-800-226-6075. And we are just very excited about the expansion of the certifying authority that has you joining the ranks of doctors, ophthalmologists, optometrists, registered nurses, therapists. And here is where everybody fits in. Professional staff of hospitals, institutions, and public or private welfare agencies. And then the examples include educator, social worker, caseworker, counselor, rehabilitation teacher, certified reading specialist, school psychologist, superintendent, or librarians. Okay, so we can, now we are through with the slideshow. The next slide has my email address. Now that, that's the, the great way to get a hold of me. There is also a public, like you saw, the OPAC librarian email address that goes straight to the reader advisors, that they are the ones that are going to help fill out the reading preferences for the patron. So I bet you've been wondering, like, what's going on there? How are they going to know what kind of books they like? Well, don't worry, because we handle all of that heavy lifting. And that is exactly what we're here for. We will be with them every step of the way. We will set them up with automatic services, or they can request books as they go along, and they can change at any time, and they can call us at any time or email us at any time. And we always will have somebody here ready to help. So, all right. I do have a few things to show you. And so let's see if okay, is this a large enough screen here to show these items? What we have is a bunch of, I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with a print Braille book. This book is your traditional picture book, but it has Braille overlay over the pictures. Let's get a good one here. There you go. And so on the tummy of this dragon, you can feel the Braille. It is a thin, there we go. It's a thin, clear overlay with Braille. Let's see. Yeah. And then on this side is the actual text. Let's see. I think if you choose a speaker view would make it bigger to get it a little closer up. Okay. So yes, the day the crayons quit. That is amazing. I love it. So see, we have everything. We have everything that the public libraries have, and it's very exciting. I was tickled to find they had like Pete the Cat and Llama Llama, and you know, all of the characters is fantastic. We have yes, a whole lot of the duck, the wolf, and the mouse. That is amazing right there. Okay, so, and other items that we have, I'd like to show you, this is what the patrons will get in the mail. This is the mailing container, and there is a mailing card that slips in the front of this plastic container, and the mailing card on one side has the address and the name, and then on the back has our address. So when they're done listening to the book, they can flip the card and put it in the mail. They can tell which way it goes because there's a notched corner on the top right-hand side there. But just in case, we have the label just stuck right on the container. Here is what the cartridge looks like. So as you can tell here, this is it's just a USB little flash drive with a plastic protective cover on it with a circle with a handle for the hole in it. And it just simply says duplication, and there's a Braille overlay. It just says duplication, because the awesome thing is that we put multiple books on here. This cartridge, this simple little cartridge, can hold upwards of about 20 books can be copied onto this. And that's how then you get your cartridge, and you would put it in your talking book player, which I have here. This here is the advanced talking book player. We have a standard and an advanced version. It has a cord. It has a cord that you plug in.
Press any button to learn about its function.
So you can see and hear that this player is it's a great tool. Every button has a unique shape, and every button has Braille on the side, and it does have a line in the middle separating the specific rows of buttons. There's a tone up, so you can make, if it sounds maybe a little shrill, you can tone it down. You can speed it up. And there's the second row of buttons that helps you navigate the books. If there are 10 books on here and you want to skip to certain books and then navigate within the books, because these audio files, they're fantastic. What they do is they give you it's kind of like, if you remember CDs and that each one has a track. Well, it's the same thing with these audio files. When they create them, they put what's called a marker, and it's for each chapter has a marker. And then maybe in nonfiction books, when they're exploring different topics and they want to really lay things out, maybe there are different markers with different levels. So, I mean, this is amazing technology put onto this cartridge, and there is a huge team of people that make the books that go on these cartridges. Yes, so here in Daytona, we do have a studio who records, and many of the books that come through NLS are commercially recorded. So that's how we can get our titles out so quickly because we have access to all of the commercial items. So it's probably, I want to say a few weeks. I can check on that if anyone has questions later. It is not long at all before we get all those new releases. So you would just simply put the cartridge in.
5 books.
This cartridge was prepared with several books you have requested, or books with your favorite subjects or authors.
So you can let it play.
Bookshelf. 5 books. Book 1. Saving Simon. How a rescue donkey taught me the meaning of compassion. 2.
The End of Diabetes, the Eat to Live plan.
3. 4 musical minimalists. Lamont Young, Terry Riley. 4. Good boundaries and goodbyes.
So you can skip to different books. And then when you're in the book, you hit play again and it starts playing the book. And it's amazing. Then when you're in there, you can jump to different chapters. This is great. It gets even better because we have a new machine coming out. And it is called the DA2, the Digital Advanced Player 2. Now, this machine, I bet you could probably guess what this can do that machine can't do. This machine, you need to put a cartridge in it that we've sent you or that you have downloaded from your computer to a flash drive, stuck it in there. But guess what this machine can do? Yes, I hear the wheels turning out there. Yes, this advanced player can download from Bard. So it skips all of the commotion and it brings the wonderful reading materials right into the patron's hands. And it's fantastic. So another thing that we have, this is, well, it's in this little holder. This is I'll take it out. This is the refreshable Braille display, and it's made by NLS, and they've called it the Braille e-reader. So these, let's see, try to make sure it focuses on here. These are pins. They're not sharp. No, they go up and down, and it changes different Braille words, and it's a different line of Braille. And then you basically hit, I'm not sure what button, but we do have many staff here that are well-versed in using this machine. I just got off a phone call and we have one of our staff, her name is Mary, and she is learning the new machine, and she has worked with many patrons using the e-reader, problem solving, and I mean, it is fantastic. So we're going to have many programs, and she is going to be on the call. But jumping ahead, there's a couple things, other things I'd like to show you. One is a currency reader. If you happen to have some money and you're not sure what the amount is, you can put it in here and hit the little button on top. Make sure everybody hit that. So it's going to tell you what you have in your currency, and you can get that for free as a patron of our services. So when we promote our services, we do have other tools that you can use we have things. This is a board. This is Braille Legos. Each of these Legos has Braille. These dots are the Braille, and the letters or numbers are written underneath. This sign I've got, it says the Florida Braille and Talking Book Library. I used a plus sign for in front of talking, and then I put on the very bottom #fun. And I need to I had to explain to Mary and John that, oh, I meant that as a hashtag, because they were trying to, because when you put a certain thing in front of a certain other thing, it makes it into a number. So it was a little confusing down there, but these types of things are examples of programming and other things that we offer. We have a lot of sets of these. I'm hoping to put together a program. We have, now I would like to talk about the ambassador program that we have at the library. But first, I would like to tell you that we do offer a whole lot more than just these books with this wonderful equipment that you have. But we have, I mean, there's always something great going on at the library now. So my dream had always been to make our talking book libraries as fun and vibrant as you guys at your public libraries. There's always something exciting, something for you to go in the library, something to do, a meeting to attend. Well, you know what? We are building the same thing here. I have got a lot of call-in programs right now because we serve the entire state of Florida. Now, we also have some sub-regionals, and I was so happy to see a few of them on the call today. So I think we could hear from some of them a little bit later. But we have a book club here for the first time in about 10 years, and it is the Pause to Read book club, PAWS to read, and it's all about pets, animals, so the enthusiasts will really enjoy it. A couple of the titles, for example, one is Homer's Odyssey, a fearless feline tale, or How I Learned About Love and Life with a Blind Wonder Cat by Gwen Cooper. Another one is Thunderdog, the true story of a blind man, his guide dog, and the triumph of trust at Ground Zero by Michael Higston. So we have a whole year's worth of wonderful titles. And usually in the newsletter, which we produce twice a year in the spring and the fall, we make it in Word for large print, and we record it, we translate it in Spanish, and then we record that too. And we make it in Braille. So we put that on the website, and we send out the hard copies. And in that newsletter, we include our programs that we have going on, and some things like reading challenge. We have this reading challenge going on right now, Spring into Reading. Read 3 books with spring in the title or subject, and you get a prize. So we encourage patrons to email us or give us a call, our reader advisor. I've even have a dedicated program line for people to call and register for programs. And that's how they submit their reading titles. The wonderful thing that's coming up is we have some special event call-in programs. The first one is in a few weeks, and it is Birding by Ear. It's the spring edition because the week of April 21st marks the peak of spring bird migration in Florida. And it is the perfect time to listen to bird songs and calls as the flocks pass through the state. So we're gonna tune in, and I'm going to play some bird songs that they may hear, and play some songs, and so we can better identify our feathered friends who are coming through. Then on that Friday, April 25th, we have container gardening. So if anyone's ever wondered how you can garden with low vision or after losing your vision, well, you can. And the container gardening is a fun and easy way to do it. A few other things that we have going on in May. Resource research on Tuesday, May 6th. We are going to be available, and I'm going to have a bunch of resources open, ready for questions and help in finding resources in anyone's area for blindness, accessibility, and more. The other item, and this one, is where Mary, the lady I was just talking about, is going to help. Barred by the Book. We are going to offer talking book machine and Braille e-reader equipment help sessions, questions and answers. And finally, we have some recurring monthly call-in programs, and they are really, really building up steam. We have a Calling All Cooks monthly meetup. And this is like if you're a seasoned cook, or if you're a beginner just starting out in the kitchen. It's a way to connect with others and explore challenges that you might have, share recipes and swap tips. I mean, it's just a great way to learn. We've had a lot of fun, and we're exploring the art of cooking together. And that is the fourth Friday of every month at 10 a.m. We also have a Wrangling All Writers meetup. And this is for new or lifetime writers. Everyone is welcome to, I put out writing prompts, like what happens next, kind of a story. Story challenges. That's like on the last Wednesday of the month at 10. Now, even though we're focused on the entire state, so it's hard at this time to open up to in-person programming. I have started a Get Crafty program, and it's the first Friday of every month here at the Daytona Beach location. And we have made projects including air-dried clay, tactile paintings and collages, and beaded jewelry. And this, I'm very carefully lifting something up. This is an example of air-dried clay that one of our members have done. It is a rose with red and pink on the petals and green, and then there's imprints on the leaves for stems. So never fear, summer is almost here, and that does mean a summer reading program. Yes, we offer summer reading for everyone. We keep things pretty traditional and accessible, and we don't like limiting people to specific books, but we like to put out themes. So, for example, here is this one. Feel the Summer Steam, STEAM in all caps. And what would that mean? Yes, again, I hear them shouting out science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So if the kids read one of each and they get a prize, but you know, don't worry, we're pretty cool. So, I mean, if they only get to 4, you know, we'll still give them a prize. We have writing contests where you're gonna write about your ideal summer vacation. This is even for adults. We have more adults enter our summer reading than we do kids in one year. So I mean, complete the story contests. You know, you're out in the back using setting up your new container garden, and you go in a direction, and then all of a sudden you trip and you fall into a hole, and you think it's a sinkhole and you panic. But wait, you just keep falling slowly, like Alice down the rabbit hole. And then that's where they complete the story. So that's an example of one of our writing contests. We do have reading bingo. We type out 3 book genres and 3 more, 3 rows. So we have 9 in a bingo square. And they need to read 3 in a row, any direction, like a cookbook, a mystery, and a Western, something like that. And they tell us exactly what they have read, and they get a prize. And we're going to be doing some random prizes too. So you may not know, what's coming until it comes. And I'll be partnering with the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. And we're going to be doing some mail and make crafts. So I hope that I have enticed you enough that this is a service that you can really get behind, and shown you the ease in which you can sign patrons up. So if Katrina wanted to help with the questions in the chat or any other questions, I am happy to help. And thank you so much for coming and sharing, all of this.